Katherine, I'm going to ask you to go next.
I'm Katherine PEARSON. I grew up in a very small rural community in West Tennessee, and I've lived in Birmingham 40 years, retired from Southern Progress Corporation. And I first want to read you a piece that my sister in Knoxville sent to me recently. It's from a daily meditation from a Catholic priest, Richard Rohr, and it struck a chord with me. It's called Learning to See. I would have never seen my own white privilege if I had not been forced outside of my dominant white culture by travel, by working in jail, by hearing stories from counselees. Recognition was slow in coming. I am not only white, but I am male, overeducated, clergy, healthy, and American. I profited from white privilege on so many fronts that I had to misread the situation many, many times before I began to feel what others feel and to see what others could see clearly. Education about white privilege is the best doorway to help those of us who think we are not racist to recognize that structurally and often unconsciously we still are. Our easy advancement was too often at the cost of others not advancing at all. And I wanted to share with you my own discovery of racism, of prejudice, and also I feel that you really cannot talk about racism without talking about white privilege. When I graduated from high school, I was going to the University of Tennessee in Knoxville, and I only knew one other person who was there. My older sister was there. But at the same time, I was really very excited about going. I was very nervous about going away to school and going from a classroom of 43 graduates to a freshman class of 4,300. But as I said, my sister was there. But up to that point, we did not have a real good record as roommates. So the university was going to assign a roommate. Now, when my sister Jean went, she was assigned a wonderful roommate. Mary was cute and petite and a natural flirt and talkative, and everybody loved Mary. And I wanted a roommate just like Mary. I needed somebody to help me learn the ropes socially and somebody to help me fit in. And a couple of weeks before school starts, I got a letter from my roommate. And I started reading the letter, and as high school girls will do, she got the important stuff out right up front. She said that her favorite singer was Aretha Franklin. And I'm thinking, hey, I like Aretha Franklin. And then her school picture dropped out of the letter and fell to the floor. And my heart sank with it. She was black. I didn't know a single black person on this earth. I didn't know a black maid. We didn't have maids. And I was terrified. Not only was she not be able to help me fit in, I felt like she was really going to make me stand out. And I pictured that everybody on the campus was going to know that I had a black roommate. And God forbid, the worst Southern boogaloo, what if the male friends of hers spoke to me on campus when I was with my white friends? I'm not proud, I'm just introducing you to my 7-year-old self. But my mother made a call to the university, and she was reassigned. And I didn't realize until my senior year in college when a group of courageous black women demonstrated on campus about being reassigned when they had a white roommate. And it is painful to me now to think about those young women who were just as excited as I was about going away to school, and probably a whole lot more nervous, with good reason. And that at a time in their lives when they should have been looking forward to a real change in life and a new growth and a new era, they were hit with such a blow. Because before they even got to campus, they had gotten a message that they were not welcome. That's white privilege. And after I graduated, I worked in Atlanta, I worked in Birmingham. I never worked directly with anyone who was black. And in my late 20s, I moved to New York City. And I'd be riding the subway in New York, and I saw beautiful women of color. Hispanics, blacks, Asian, handsome men. None of these fit my southern white girl image of Miss America pre-Vanessa Williams, Miss Tennessee. And it may be a small thing, but it was eye-opening to me. And then, what was even more revealing to me, even more important when I moved to New York City, is that I witnessed firsthand prejudice and discrimination against Jews. And even more surprisingly, against Catholics. In my small town, there was one Jewish older couple who had no children. I didn't really know them. There was one Catholic couple, and their oldest daughter was in my class, and she seemed real different from me. So I'm like, what is this? What do you got against Catholics? But it took my being in a place outside the South where I could see prejudice and racism against a cultural and religious group for me to recognize the black racism that I had grown up with but never questioned. And last summer, I went to a storytelling workshop. It's about a week long, 25 people. And during the week, everybody told their story. And there was one couple there. I say couple, they were actually brother and sister from Brooklyn. And without giving away too many of my biases, and we all have them, they're dangerous when we don't recognize them. But let me just say that couple got under my skin something awful. They just bothered me. And I didn't want to spend time with them. And toward the end of the week, they told their stories. Each of them told a separate story, very personal stories. And after I heard their stories, I had enormous respect for them and what they've done with their lives. I hope they didn't feel my bias toward them, that it didn't hurt them, but it also was a loss to me. If I had not been wanting to push them away, then I would have learned a lot more from them about their amazing lives. And that's part of what I hope all of us can understand tonight. And Mr. Rogers, I want to get this right, I plugged it on TV last Friday. Mr. Rogers often quoted, "There isn't anyone you can hate after you've heard their story." And it's in that spirit that I hope we will hear a lot of stories tonight.